Joining us now, Pam Bondi, one of my favorite people in all of America. She is Florida's former Attorney General, where, by the way, I'll be going for a baseball tournament with my son and going to Sanford, Orlando area, and that is in, let's see, I think it's like the end of July, so we're doing that. We'll be in Florida for that. She's also former special advisor to President Trump, and she's with us now. Attorney General Pam Bondi, great to have you with us, Pam.
Good morning, my friend. Great to be with you. And you're one of my favorite people. And you have Corey Lewandowski coming up soon, who's also one of my favorite people.
He'll be on at 8:35 after Roland Martin gives the 30 minutes of opposing views. Hey, we believe in equal time here in the John Fredericks Show. All my friends get on no matter what they believe in. But, Pam, it's great to have you with us. First of all, I just want to say you played such a key role in the impeachment fiasco, blowing that whole thing up, advising the president on it. You're fabulous on TV. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, well, thank you. I was a very small part of a very big, great team, including Pat Cipollone, Jay Sekulow, and many others in White House counsel, and Eric Hirschman, who did a great job. So thank you. And, it's easy to defend someone when they're innocent. And it was just horrible, John, to have to sit there knowing the president is innocent. And all of those senators, every single one of them knew it. Yet they tried to impeach a sitting president.
Unbelievable. Pam, let me ask you something. I'm going to go to a comment my wife made, my wife Ann, yesterday about you actually, and then go from there because I like to interject that. So we live in Virginia, and my son's got 3 more years of high school. So Ann says to me, you know what? They're defunding police in all these states. Virginia is next. That Pam Bondi's in Florida. After Joe goes to college, let's just get out of here and go to Florida. And so, therefore, Second Amendment state, they have police there. We don't have to worry. Let's just get out of here. I mean, is that people are starting to look at this and they just want out. Like, I think that's what's going to happen in Minneapolis, New York, and these other cities where they're like defunding police. But everybody can't go to Florida, right?
John, Florida is open, and we want business. We want people to move to our great state. And that's so true what your wife said, though. How many people are coming here for good reason? We have a great Republican governor in Ron DeSantis who supports President Trump, and President Trump, by the way, is now a resident of Florida. One more reason to move to Florida. But our state is up and running, and we are acting like a state should be. We love and respect our good police officers, who are 98% of them. Our government is running. We live in a beautiful state. We have hurricane season soon, but that's very minor. But compared to how law enforcement and our citizens are being treated in other states, there's no comparison. We had protests, John, in my neighborhood this past weekend, and they were peaceful protesters. And when they protest that way, you tend to listen to their message. Mm-hmm. That's what our Constitution calls for: peaceful protest, not civil unrest. Because we have great men and women in the police office here in Florida who are protecting the protesters as well as everyone else.
Well, it's tough to understand or listen to the message of the protesters when you're trying to put the fire out in your house or save your business from getting ransacked. It's like you have to do that first, and then maybe you listen. So I really think the violence has hijacked the entire message. But you guys got it going on in Florida. We're looking forward to our baseball tournament there as always. But let me ask you this. I'm a national Trump delegate going to the convention, as I did in 2016. People that I'm talking to are telling me that it is a likely scenario that the Republican convention is moved to Florida. What do you think?
Well, Florida, we're sure wanting it in Florida. I'll let Corey talk about that a little more, but we would love to have the convention in Florida. We've held one in my hometown, Tampa, before, and it was great. It was flawless. And you know why? No riots, no arrests, because our mayor, who was police chief at the time, who is a Democrat, had a strong police presence. And when there was a strong police presence, there was no violence. But yeah, Florida, we would welcome the convention. We would love the convention, and I hope we get to have it here.
How are Floridians reacting to this concept of reimagining police, Pam Bondi, defunding police? I mean, you were Attorney General there 2 terms. You kind of get the whole law enforcement thing. Your neighbors in Florida, when you're talking about not having police or downsizing them or taking a lot of their money away or giving them no money or whatever it is that they're imagining here, reimagining it. What is the reaction, Pam Bondi?
I haven't met any human being who wants to defund the police. We know there were 4 horrible people that did this. They are in jail and they will go to prison. It was horrible what they did. They committed a crime and they will go to prison. But, when Democrats take up this radical push to defund community police forces that put the safety and the security of all Americans at risk, there's no excuse for fighting back against that. We have to have our police. They're community policing, especially here in Florida. They're the ones, again, who are keeping the protesters safe. How can we go to church, our kids to school, go to work without our police officers? If anything, we need to increase our police officers now, increase their presence to protect everyone, and not only in our state, John, you know this, but in our country. And when you have people like AOC and all her squad friends out there saying that the radical left, that you have to defund them, that should scare every American to death.
I mean,
and anyone who listens to pressure from the far left, it's horrible.
I mean, if you're getting assaulted, if there's domestic violence, anything that goes on, if your store's getting robbed, I mean, if somebody throws a Molotov cocktail at you, whatever happens, I mean, this reimagined police, like, what do you do? Do you not call 911? Do you call a social worker and hope they can come in and talk the people out of it? I mean, what if you're being raped? What do you do?
Burglaries, armed robberies, rape, murders. We have to have our police. We have to strengthen our police now more than ever. You saw what happened in Minneapolis. So the city council announced its plans to disband their police force. L.A., New York have had massive cuts to their police forces. But then what happens in Minneapolis? The mayor lets them come in and take over the police department. That's total anarchy. And where is it going to stop? And then go back to what you said. What about our Second Amendment rights? President Trump supports our Second Amendment rights, and President Trump isn't going to stand for these ridiculous, reckless plans to disband police. And, you can't usher in lawlessness in our communities. Life doesn't work that way.
Well, what's going to happen is...
We live in a society of laws. I've been a prosecutor since I was in my early 20s. We live in a society of laws, and if we end utter chaos and anarchy, and we cannot have that. The laws are working now for the killers of George Floyd. Let them work for the good of all the citizens in our community.
Pam Bondi, how big of a bind is Joe Biden in on this now?
Oh, first of all, he should have come out right away and started defending the good men and women in this country. And what's he saying about defunding the police officers? Hasn't he been, I think, eerily quiet? I mean, it would mean that all our communities would be left behind, and his silence on this speaks volumes. He used to be a law and order guy, and now he goes wherever the wind blows, whatever he thinks is going to get him more votes and get him elected. President Trump is a law and order president. Biden, first of all, I don't think Biden knows what he's talking about. But with all the chaos going on, to not come out and support our good police officers, yet you want to be the commander-in-chief of our entire country is completely unacceptable and despicable.
I've only got a couple more minutes because you got to go to the dentist, but without sharing. Is that TMI?
Eye doctor, actually.
Oh, eye doctor.
Ophthalmologist. Yes.
I know you had to go somewhere. Okay. TMI, too much information. Pam has to go to the ophthalmologist. We're with Pam Bondi, Florida's former attorney general and former special advisor to President Trump. Pam, just gotta say this. Both of us are students of political history. I mean, the Democratic Party never did this, ever. I mean, I remember in '68, Humphrey wagging his finger at protesters, defying them, told them to shut up. That got him back in the race in '68. I remember Bill Clinton in '92, it was, I believe, with Sister Soldier, being on a debate, on a forum with her, just completely defying her and said, if we're going to follow this path, we're going to lose. I'm not interested. Yeah, he ran as a moderate. So we've seen, I've seen I remember Jimmy Carter in '76 standing up to the left wing. Now we get the exact opposite. It's complete subservience to this left wing. Now you've got a Democratic councilman in Minneapolis, Keith Ellison's son, right? What's his name? Jeremiah Ellison, who is endorsing Antifa, which is a radical, and the president says, terrorist organization. What is going on?
Yeah, they are. They are a domestic terrorist organization. I think the American people just have to imagine for 1 minute now, and it's horrible to do this, what if Joe Biden was president now and this was happening? D.C. would be overtaken. I mean, I was there. I saw the devastation that's already happened. Washington would be overrun. Mm-hmm. All of our major cities would be overrun. Mm-hmm. It would be horrible, horrible. How can you have a commander-in-chief who does not respect, Joe Biden does not respect our police officers, and that in turn translates over to our military, to our first responders, to everyone in law enforcement, all the great men and women out there, and it's shameful.
Insane. John Fredericks Radio Network. Pam Bondi, thank you for your time. I know time was short today. I want to thank Pam Bondi for being with us, the fabulous job she's doing. Florida's former Attorney General, former Special Advisor to President Trump, Floridian resident. And we'll be there for our baseball tournament at the end of July in Sanford is where we play. So I'm just happy that we can go to Florida and play baseball, Pam.
That's right. Florida is open for business. The weather is beautiful. Our beaches are beautiful. And people are, John, appropriately social distancing. It's safe to be here, and we're so blessed to live in the beautiful state of Florida.
So the beaches are open there. Can you actually go to the beach and hang out? What are the rules?
We've been there. You can. You're not supposed to be. The governor is being reasonable, like the president. The governor is being reasonable. Go to the beach, exercise, work out. Don't have mass groups of teenagers all together. We don't want to spread this. We've stopped the spread of it, and we want to continue that. So, just people are actually abiding by the rules here and listening because they want to be safe. And we want to move on from this. And by the way, look what the president's doing for our economy. I know you're going to talk about that later, but this is truly the great American comeback, and we're already seeing it in Florida. People are back to work.
Well, I mean, it's these handful of southern states being led by Florida that's led the job explosion, because it's certainly not being led in New Jersey, Delaware, they're all still closed. Michigan, they're all closed. So it's being led in a handful of southern states plus Iowa, which opened up for anybody. Pam, thank you for being with us. Always an honor to have you on. Thank you so much.